Wednesday night here in the Hammer. Barbershoppodcast.com. You're here at Kevin's Barbershop with Ryan Cannon, and we've got a smoking good show for you tonight. Ryan, are you excited about this one?
I'm excited. It's the 2-4.
I am. It's the 2-4. The 2-4 is, in Canada, we're approaching May 2-4 weekend, where many 2-4s have been consumed, and people have broken out of that wintertime shell and slapped on the suntan lotion and got drunk and listened to rock and roll music. And how many times have we been around the campfire and just had our total weekend made by really tasty good music? And in the studio I got two of the people from Blacken'd Red. We got Iggy and Brian Big B. Welcome to the studio. Thanks for coming in, guys. I'm so happy to have you in here
Thanks
today.
for having us.
What's up, brother?
Man, you know what? Really get excited. We had some good weather, and we've had some great shows lately. Things are clicking and going good. Most people I know are having good times in their lives right now. You know, there's been some dark days, but there's happy days and good times, and I guess that's kind of a cornerstone of what you guys are about, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're trying to stay busy, and we're keeping busy and doing shows and having fun.
It's happy, good time rock and roll.
It has to be, right? If more than one guy come in and say, no one wants to read your diary, you know. It's like, unless it's really salacious and it's got a great beat to it.
Yeah, the book's not written yet.
No, it's not, but it's being written. They're just not writing it.
Mm.
But you must have like so many stories, piled up, because you've been doing this for a while, but you're not, you're still in the thick of it. You're still, going hard, and you're still doing it right.
Yeah.
What's, let's start out with like music and yourself. Where did you, first get embraced by music, or when did music?
What got the juices flowing?
What got the juices flowing? When did you know that this shit was for you?
I think I was about, I guess I was about 12 years old, and it was early AC/DC, Bon Scott.
Yeah.
I wanted to be Bon Scott. I loved his voice. I loved the music and crunchy rock and roll.
Yeah, and something about those riffs about Malcolm and Angus and Rudd and everyone, that sound is so primal, but everyone hooks into it.
Absolutely.
It's so distinctively AC/DC, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's like Link Ray and a lot of things where when people hear it, it's kind of hard to quantify, but
yeah, that's it.
It's visceral. It makes you move, right?
So what'd you do when you were 13?
Yeah, because 13, when most people are in here, 13 is when they had their first band or did their first gig.
First
or
something.
like
What'd
that.
you do 13?
That's when I started drinking and jamming. Had to work on the voice. Pack a day and a case of beer on the weekend.
Which is, I don't think that's quite happens a lot at that age where you want to be the singer, right? But I guess it's just like, hey, I want to be that guy. It's in my head. A lot of times people, start off playing an instrument and then eventually by default someone's singing in the band, but you wanted to sing.
Pretty much. The first time I sang, friends of mine, they had a band called Random, and they're doing a gig, and their singer was ill. And so they said, well, hey, get up there and do some shows. That was at the Spitfire Lounge. Remember that place in Upper James?
Yeah.
I think it's a carpet store now or something. But yeah.
Was that the Runway after that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Runway,
Yeah,
Spitfire
Runway.
Lounge, a couple different things. But yeah, so I think I had just enough drinks in me. I thought I'd go up there, sing a few tunes, and people actually liked it.
People liked it, and you got that rush. You got that buzz. It's like, I like that. That feeling.
Yeah.
How about you, Bri? Like, when was like music first going to be like that shot of adrenaline in your arm?
Sad to say, the Beatles on Ed Sullivan.
Yeah.
Quite literally, yeah.
Quite literally.
Oh, yeah. And I was ready for it, and it was there, and literally that changed everything.
Was it videotaped, or did you watch it live?
They still have the tapes, but honest to God, I watched live. That's what it was.
So
yeah, that whole era.
The Beatles or the Stones?
It's the Beatles. So we'll be fighting in the nursing home.
But
that was it.
Yeah, but those moments when you're affected so strongly, and
yeah, it's like everything, and whatever that was. I mean, that was a time when everybody was. I guess music was that potent. It was that present. And it was that, as I learned later, important. That I wasn't going to leave, but that was the first impact. Yeah, no question at all.
It was so new and so cool at the same time.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. And then, unfortunately, all my parents could think I was going to the Conservatory of Music and getting me a guitar that looked like this with strings about this high off the neck, and I'd go like this and play Hawaiian music. This is not. There's something not right with this.
Yeah, they thought they were meeting you halfway.
Yeah, well, the guy came door to door. I think they used to sell lessons just like they sold everything else, and they thought, well, get him that. That'll be it. I've got pictures of myself doing it. And even in the pictures, I'm like, what the fuck is this? That's not the way it goes. It goes like this, and that's the way it is. And yeah, it took a long time. Going to Millgrove and getting auction guitars and shit and taking it home and not having a clue. Going next door, I had a red imitation Strat. It must have been Japanese at the time, say like 66. And it had a whammy bar on it. And I'm looking at this thing, and it's just falling down like. So I never knew about it. And the neighbors next door from PEI, and they're having a kitchen party, and I go over there, and there's all these guys pounding IPAs and smoking Export A, sitting around the kitchen, and he takes my guitar and he goes, wow, wow, like that. Whoa.
That's what it's for.
Literally, that's what the spring's there for. Holy shit! But they knew, and he's picking away and doing the thing, and those things you remember. It's incredible.
Yeah. So who are the other than Bon Scott? When you started singing, did you immediately kind of launch into your own style, or were you still a disciple of certain singers? Like because you got a distinctive kind of style that's right away you know what you're getting, you know what it is, but it's still really expressive. Great songwriting, great musicianship,
Thank you.
Every show I've been to, it's like the crowd is immediately.
It's got to be high energy. It's got to be something to see as much as something to hear. And we emphasize on that. If you're looking good and you're doing something right, looking good and sounding good, you're doing something right. And the shows are getting bigger and better. We were at the Corktown last weekend with Crude and Destroyer and 3/4 Stone. They were really good, and it was fun.
We saw those guys. 3/4 Stone. They were the first band out for Gilby Clark. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I remember the singer. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun.
And that happens quite often. You meet so many people, and it's it takes a while for you to go, well, where do I know them? Where did I play with them before?
So many bands, so little time, so many memories, so many. Continue.
Yeah.
So
what I like about Ig is that he's something that's almost a vanishing species, which is a lead singer. I mean, it used to be the thing. You had to have a lead singer.
Yeah.
That's all he did. He didn't carry any gear. He just sang lead. Do you ever have that feeling?
Stop it, I'm getting misty.
But that's it. And there's not a lot of bands do that. You play and you sing, and it's that era sort of thing. So, I mean, almost everything that we did just through happenstance turned into what we are and what we look like. And it's just the way it went.
Yeah, and the look is important. I mean,
absolutely.
It's the image I hate to use the word brand because it's been overutilized, but what?
No, you can brand me, brother. I just want to play rock and roll. I'm not trying to do anything new, anything different. Don't want to invent nothing new. Just want to keep the wheel rolling, right?
Absolutely.
And speaking of branding, I want to know that Blacken'd Red has absolutely stepped up to the plate to become the first band in here to really get hard with the swag. Come in here with a couple of nice T-shirts for me and Ryan, and some CDs and some posters. Yep. We've got. This here, beautiful Blacken'd Red Drive, signed, and it's going to go up in the studio along with the Blacken'd Red calendar. And merch is an important part.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Of rock and roll. Not only is it an important income generator, but people like it. People like stuff, right?
Yeah. Hey, you bought the beer, Kevin, so I thought I'd come bearing gifts.
But you must, from what I picked up on you guys still have fun at the marketing of yourselves, of the band. Because I've always done that. Yeah. When I've been in music, I enjoyed, selling myself or selling the group that I'm with in the image and seeing, okay, I've got creative control over that element of it too, right?
Yeah, and it is that. It's an extension of your creative control for everything. And right now, while you got it, you may as well utilize it. Absolutely. So, I mean, when we took the picture of the other poster, if you ever look at that, which is the album cover, it's actually Iggy's hands and his junk.
It's more than my hands.
And because that made a lot of sense, right? I mean, it's real, but it's at the same time, it's like that's the brand, but it's real. It's the real thing.
And it's a total Stones ripoff, which I fucking
love. People like jeans and they like penis. It's been proven, right?
You've noticed that, those people out there.
And you do have like which is a hard thing to do in rock and roll sometimes. You've got a good portion of female fans, and it's like and that brings the boys out too.
Absolutely.
And rhythmic enough that men can, or women can dance to it, and aggressive enough that men can drink to it, but not too aggressive that there's a fight breaking out every night and no one wants you in there. It's a fine line, right?
It is. It's really accessible. I think our stuff's accessible, and I'm astonished whenever I hear somebody that knows the band. Somebody in Toronto, a friend of mine, was talking about it because he was wearing the shirt, and somebody said, "I know Blacken'd Red." He didn't know us. He knew the band. And he talked about it. He said, it was actually Morgan. He mixed this at a show, and he said, it's my buddy's band, blah, blah. He goes, you did this? That's great. Do the thing. And it's just like out of the blue, It's fantastic.
It's getting out there. I got a hit on Facebook from this girl, and she just messaged me out of the blue and said, man, I really love your band, and I love listening to the one song, Nothing to Lose, while I'm working out. And she hears it on radio station, whatever, I can't remember the name of the station, but I'm like, oh, that's cool. What state? Where's that station? She goes, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah, that's a digital world now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's cool because people are going to hear not only some of the stuff off of your CD, but also playing live, and I love the fact you've got the chops to come in here, and I know you've been busting your chops all day to come here looking and smelling good, and I know you're going to be sounding good.
Well, it might look good, but I don't know. Brian keeps moving over.
Come on, that's not the case. So, why don't we play Nothing to Lose?
Sure.
Off of the new CD. Is there a story you want to talk about before or after the song that sets it up, or is it self-explanatory?
Well,
let it roll?
It's kind of self-explanatory with Nothing to Lose. Like I was at a period in my life where things were going kind of horribly wrong. I was trying to get my shit back together, and I was thinking to myself, if you ain't got nothing, you ain't got nothing to lose. So fuck it, let the dice roll and just put yourself out there and see what happens. And it's amazing how things can change, how things can turn around.
Yeah, as long as
things have been great, ever since we've been playing and recording, and so nothing to lose kind of brings it all on. You got to take that chance. If you don't take any chances, nothing's going to happen.
That's right.
Nothing different, right?
Nothing different's going to happen. Well, you make stuff happen, and you're in for a treat from Barber Shop Podcast. This is Nothing to Lose from Blacken'd Red.
To the bar.
She's a goddess of the highway. She's a queen of a sunset sky. She's a lover and a sinner. Don't cross her or she'll fight.
barbershoppodcast.com. And that was Nothing to Lose, and kick-ass rock and roll song, you know.
Thank you.
You hear all of the things that my boxes of LPs chock full of stuff that reminds me of
LPs and cassettes.
I have, and Ryan wanted me to chuck my cassettes, and he recommended that I was.
It's not that I wanted you to.
You did.
You need the space.
You see that as hopelessly.
You're a hoarder.
Yes, but I'm looking at it's like the Aerosmith, tape, is like the factory tape, so it's been played 2,000 times in many bad car stereos, and it still has some hash oil like smeared on it from 1981 or something like that.
Sometimes you'll find a pin stuck to
yeah,
with the oil.
At that
from
point,
lunchtime at high school.
I could see, maybe I should throw that out, but it's like, maybe it'd be in a museum one day, or
We'll all
modern
be in a
art.
museum one day.
But Aerosmith for one. I mean, that must have been again, Steven Tyler must have been someone you looked at and said that guy's a singer and a performer, and being a performer is such a big part of it, isn't it?
I had a scarf draped on my mic stand for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you usually, people would recruit you after a while, or would you find yourself, I got to build a band, or I like that guy, or you would have a project in your pocket, or like a girlfriend where you got the current band you're in, but you got the idea of that's the fuck I want.
Yeah, it's a matter of chemistry. Like everyone's got to be on the same page and same goals in rock and roll. And I've been saying since day one, since I was 13 years old, that the hardest thing with any band is finding 4 or 5 solid guys that are wanting to do the same thing. And if everyone's driven in that direction, wonderful things can happen.
Yeah.
So, and when I met Blacken'd Red, these guys, I was out of music for probably about 10 years, and dealing with some personal demons and whatnot, and these guys found me and asked me to jam, and actually I turned them down a couple times. I said, no, I'm just not feeling it anymore. I don't want to get back into it. And I said, okay, well, maybe I'll come down and jam with you guys. Where are you guys rehearsing? Like, we rehearse at Hamilton Place. Yeah, I'll definitely come down. Yeah. Just for the sake of making some noise in the studio room at Hamilton Place. And, the chemistry was there instantly, and we went forward from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mr. Steve Foster, a friend of the show. He's when you guys do play there, he does nice sound.
Steve Foster was actually in Blacken'd Red.
He was in Blacken'd Red
when I first joined.
Yeah, did one gig with us right off the top. He's just such a busy guy.
Was that Green Day? The Green Day tailgate party?
We did that as well. Yeah, we also played in the studio with him for some variety thing. But yeah, we did the Green Day tailgate.
Yep.
So Brian, tell your side of the story about clearly you were smitten with Iggy. I know he had chops, and you saw him as someone you wanted in your group.
I was smitten. It was a spitting image of someone I knew after I met him. It was funny though because he came literally walking in the room as we were playing. I think he was playing, and he came with Sean or somebody walking across the room in a fucking thing and like this. And I went.
He looked the
really?
part.
Yeah, he looked the part, and I go, well, yeah, that's what we're doing now. It was like a confirmation. That's what we're doing now. That's what we do. We play this stuff, and guess what? That's the singer. And so that made just total sense. It was dead easy at that point, which is really, like you're saying, it speaks to chemistry and what's right and what's not right, and things that fall together. Where in the past it was either who you knew or a couple guys, or you left a band and one guy came with you and you got somebody in, that sort of thing.
Yeah, or youthful exuberance where you do it, you blow your wad and you're done. Yeah, but to do it as a professional,
changes
enterprise.
Everything. After high school, it changed everything. People started dropping away after high school. Well, you're not going to play anymore? No, I'm going to university. I'm going to become whatever.
Getting a life,
yeah. And it started then, and then you started having to play with strangers instead of friends, and everything changes as you go. I was playing in a million bands from that point forward, and just everybody.
I find that if it's truly in you, and if you're away from it for a while, it'll drive you insane until you get back into it. You got no other choice but to fucking deal with it.
It's going to happen. It's on the horizon.
Yeah. That's where the real musicians come from.
Jack approached me at Hamilton Place and said, "You play guitar, right?" I didn't know. And I said, "Yeah." He said, "I could talk to you later." And it was like December. I thought he wants to buy a guitar for his kid or something. He wants to know about guitars. And he said, "No, I want to start a band." Really? And it was one of those things. I was right in between it. I'd just come out of one for a few years, and it had been about a year. And I said, "Yeah, sure."
And Jack was dormant too, for about 10 years.
For even longer than that, yeah. And something just kicked in me.
The Rogers Brothers years ago.
Yeah, but I never tried to stop. I mean, when I was out of a band for 6 months, I went, "Oh my God, this is the longest I have ever been out of a band." And then it becomes a year and a half. And you go, "What's happening?"
you know,
It's not right.
you start wigging out till you do something rock and roll again.
No focus left, you know?
Yeah, and it's hard to do it a piecemeal, you know, and say, okay, I'm just going to write or I'm going to play or
No,
I'm gonna
it
do, it's
doesn't
like
work.
doing push-ups or something.
Yeah.
It's not.
I always wrote, like even when I was out of the game for like 10 years, I always wrote. I got books and books of stuff at home, short stories, songs, partial songs.
Yeah, but no focus, no delivery
nothing to do with
package
it.
for it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like buying guitars. I bought guitars endlessly. None of them had any application for the band I end up being in. I just bought them. So you go, well, now I need things that are for this, and everything I've done has been focused on what this is.
Specific
You start
what
writing
we're
the songs
doing.
and hearing them, and you know what you need at that point, and then
Right.
it falls into place.
Okay, musically, like who still, you know, goes through you when you're on stage? What are the influences, the bands that
For more modern type stuff.
you know what, even the stuff that's, you know, you can't help but play the guy and sing like the guy who you loved so much in high school.
I'm a huge Stones fan. Always have been. Brian's the Beatles fan. So in our set we do 2 covers. We do a Beatles cover and a Stones cover,
Cool.
and we do "Oh Darling" and "Dead Flowers," and that's to me. Like the 70s driven rock and roll, that's the classic thing. Like, is it the Beatles or is it the Stones? You know,
Yeah.
and so yeah, big on the Stones for just the pure raw attitude of it, you know. And for a little more modern type stuff, bands like Buck Cherry or the Helicopters, the Super Suckers, just classic high energy. Social Distortion. Mike Ness has been a huge writing influence on me since as far back as I can remember, and just the 3-chord power rock and roll, you know, like In Your Face. And here we are, boom.
Yeah.
Love it or lump it, we're still here.
Yeah, and it flies by, I guess. So you find yourself when you're doing your set and you're writing material, is it hard to let go of some songs and you find the set getting bloated, or is it
We've got-
how do you handle what the material
it's
you're
going to
on?
be more and more. It actually depends. We're going to literally have to have a 30-minute set, and there it is, a 45-minute set, and there it is, and another longer set eventually, and there it is, and just go with it and not have to think, depending on what the application is. I mean, at this point, and we got signed to a management agreement, and we're now no longer probably going to be playing as much in bars, so they say.
Well, the biggest thing, when we signed with J.D. Elder and Associates,
Right.
and we had a meeting and did a signing meeting, and the biggest thing that sticks in my mind from that meeting is John asked us after we signed and stuff, says, what do you guys got booked up for now? Because he's going to start booking us up, and he's looking at some big shows for us. And we said we had the Corktown, that's it. We haven't booked anything else because
You're
we knew
waiting.
we were working
Yeah.
with him. He goes, oh, okay, well, that's your last bar gig. So that's kind of
That's
when it
That stuck in my
clued
mind. And they
terms
said, "What are you
of-
doing?" And he said, "My bags are packed."
Yeah. He
Yeah,
goes,
like, well, that's impact as well. So are mine.
You know, and
oh, we're ready to go.
yeah, you're ready to
Beast it,
go.
yeah.
You've worked your fucking ass off to get to that point. You've done it right, and you know, and it's going to be nice, you know, to play in front of people who are paying money to come.
Well, yeah.
see
I mean,
you.
openers for big bands, and that's where we've always had the greatest success. We opened for Gatto at the studio at Hamilton Place, and we stole their audience. I mean, because they're there focused on you, and they loved us.
Oh, they loved
we had
us,
2
yeah.
tables of merch in the back of the room, and Greg sat there and said, "I don't need fucking merch. I've got a book that's out of print." And they were just coming up and signing autographs, and that was it. And we're selling shirts and CDs and posters and everything else. And it was just obvious. He was fantastic to us. And everybody that we met, like that Helix, I mean, you name it.
Play
When we
with
did
Helix, play with
John
Russ-
Karabi, the whole
John
thing. I mean,
Karabi,
they're all
Russ
awesome
Dwarf
people.
as well. And
You know.
when I was in Cat House years ago, late '80s, early '90s, we did a pile of shows with the Killer Dwarfs, and it was just so
Yeah.
cool that 20 years later to hang out at This Ain't Hollywood with Russ Dwarf.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
fuck, he hasn't changed a bit.
No,
He's
he
still a
hasn't.
Huge
Has he?
showman. He's
Yeah,
awesome.
fantastic. You
Awesome.
know, and he probably stole a hell of a lot of audiences himself over the years.
Oh, no
Yeah,
doubt.
that's the
No
gig,
doubt.
right? That's what you
Yeah.
do. Yeah, so we're eager to get that.
Yeah.
And John Karabi, we played with him at This Ain't Hollywood as well last summer, and he came
It
up and
was
jammed Dead
blast.
Flowers with us, which is just super cool. And
Yeah.
just a
Lots
great
of
guy.
Great memories.
Great guy.
Do
Just
you remember when
super
we had
humble.
great memories? Remember that?
But you can
That was
remember your
awesome.
memories.
I don't know, some of the best shows I've ever done in my life, I don't remember being there.
That's what Val's for. Val. Just take pictures.
Did I do this? Okay, I want to play. I want to play another track. It's chock full of good tunes. Yeah, we're gonna put up links to your website and any information where you can get a hold of Blacken'd Red, get a hold of their latest CD. It's on iTunes. and
Yep.
you on CD Baby or
Mm-hmm.
and well, you'll be able to jump and link there. But we're gonna play a nice few chunks of it tonight. I'll go with the title track. Title track's usually kick ass. I certainly think that's the case in this song. Nothing wrong, nothing right.
Actually, no. Go with Drive. Drive's actually
You
the
like
title track. Yeah.
Drive. Okay, that's
play them all
number
eventually,
4.
yeah.
We'll play them all eventually.
Drive is really cool because that was our first real boost because Drive got us actually a music award nomination, which we didn't win, which sucks balls, but it's still cool to be recognized.
It is.
Yeah, I recognize
This
you.
is the song that did it. And incidentally, too, when I walked into the at Hamilton Place to jam with these guys for the first time, the very first song that they gave me was Drive.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to listen to it. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about it when these guys got together and how the magic started happening, taking us from then to now. And this is Drive from barbershoppodcast.com.
You play seek and I play hard. Take a ride of your life. Pick up speed, no looking back. The red light's flashing in my sight. Tried it all, tried doing things your way. Put it in fifth gear and drive away. There ain't no way they're taking me alive. So drive. Show no feel, step on the gas. There's no brakes. Hold on tight. Run a red, fade to black. It's all or nothing. Ain't coming back. Why ain't coming back now? Tried it all, tried doing things your way. Put it in fifth gear and drive like hell. There ain't no way they're taking me alive. So drive. Tried it all, tried doing things your way. Put it in fifth gear and drive like hell. There ain't no way they're taking me alive. So drive. Yeah! All right!
Drive. That's the driving fucking song, ain't it, Ryan?
It's driving.
It's driving. It's tight. Tight like a tiger. Oh, fuck. So, this band obviously has a cohesion and it has a definitely vectoring thrust to it. When you started picking up speed, what were some of the signs when you knew, you had something with this band?
It was doing those gigs with like Gatto. Anytime we could, there's such a difference between bars where the guy's looking at you and then they're looking at the game. Like tonight,
Yeah.
they're really not paying attention. You play a decent place where they're there to see a real band and their focus is only on the stage and it changes absolutely everything. I work for IATSE and I've been working at Hamilton Place and Cops for 25 years. So I've seen almost every show that there is and there's a certain commonality there. It's almost as though this is going to be great and big and huge, almost no matter who's on stage right now. If it's at Cops and it's a massive thing, and you hear big long intros and this whole thing, and they're going crazy, and it's, you name it, doesn't matter who it is, because I've seen every conceivable kind of band do the same thing.
Right.
And once you're at that level, it sort of happens. So it's a matter of having playing a place where the focus is you and not something else.
I think too, Hamilton has an absolute fucking fantastic music scene right now. It's great. I got tons of friends in Toronto now, and they all want to come to play in Hamilton.
Everybody wants to come to Hamilton now.
You know, and the thing that we thought of is that, well, you know, we don't want to just play the same old bar gigs that everybody else is doing, and everyone's got some great talent, and they're, you know, writing some great songs, you know, so you got to think out of the box, right? So we've always thought out of the box and try to create our own buzz, and you know, try to you know, lead the pack as opposed to just do the same old bar gigs that everybody else is doing, and you know, and if someone's in the
it goes in a
neighborhood,
circle. You don't get anywhere with it. There's no way of getting out of that into something else unless somebody helps you out of that, and that's what we're hoping this will be.
Yeah, and someone makes an emotional involvement, you know, in you. You know, they invest in you because you give them something to invest in.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's like, clearly, if you guys were all veneer, you know, this stuff wouldn't happen, wouldn't click, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, well, we think so anyway. It's taken a long time to have a deep veneer.
Yeah. You'll take a scratch. You'll take a scratch or two, right?
We'll take a couple.
You buff it out.
You buff that right out. You'll see a ripple, but otherwise we'll survive.
It's
okay?
good.
We're good.
So do you find, you know, doing what you do and being involved in, you know, a front of house, back of house, that you become like a doctor, that you become very clinical about music, and that you're hypercritical about, you know, what you see out there?
Absolutely.
Well, you can elaborate too on what you see. You know what works, what doesn't work, and
it gives you the information you freaking need. I mean, ultimately, that's it. But I mean, I'm not a good audience. I can't sit through anything. I can't sit through anything. I have to take an aisle seat because I'm gone in 15 minutes because I'm used to not having to be tied down during it. I really don't want to pay attention to the performance, because when you're working it, you're paying attention to the job that you're doing. So it's a lot different. But it gives you it. I mean, it just makes you hugely frustrated. I want to be out there. I don't want to be doing this after a certain point in time. But I think that's the sort of whatever it takes to motivate you is good, and that motivated me.
We've always had an outlook too in terms of, like, we're still playing bar gigs. Well, apparently not anymore.
Yeah, well,
so just say, if someone has a chance to see this band at a bar in the next month for any reason, you better fucking go, because you're not going to see it again.
It won't be. Yeah, it won't last for long there. But,
no, it won't.
But we figured, you know, even though we were playing smaller venues and whatnot, we wanted to bring a show that people could appreciate at, like, Hamilton Place or Massey Hall or Cops Coliseum.
Make it a concert experience almost. And then that's the other side of it. You talked about branding. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's also, you've got to give them something more with light, sound, with staging, with, you know, projection of anything you want to do on stage. Why not bring some of that even at a smaller level to these things, right? I mean, case in point was Carl Palmer at Studio the other day. I actually went to see. And they had a projector, but it could only throw an image that was very small behind them, sort of thing. So it sort of looked like, and it was showing like just random stuff, right? But it was another focus, right? You don't want to, there's three guys standing there. That's all they're going to do all night is stand there. Lights didn't change too much, but there's something else going on.
Well, and all those images should tell a bit of story.
They try to, and your brain tries to make that connection, and that's what we're going to do the same thing. Give them something that is connected to each song, and it is sort of projection that makes a lot of sense to us, and see how that goes. But not have to wait till you get to Cops to see that.
Right on. So if you had like a mission statement, what would the band's mission statement be? What is your
to get to LA,
directive?
I guess, basically. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Get to the Viper Lounge.
And LA is still like the center, like with rock and roll and the kind of role you play and the kind of music you play. It's still, that's the epicenter.
Absolutely.
You know, that's the Gunners and so much of, you know.
Yeah, it sure ain't Toronto.
You know. I want to open up for Motorhead.
Yeah, I think that would be a dream. You know, and to be able to pull it off.
I've met Lemmy a couple times over the years, and he's just a fantastic dude. And I love Motorhead. Motorhead's awesome.
Yeah, you said that's your morning.
Oh yeah,
your
Motorhead in the morning, baby.
Yeah,
I was Lemmy for Halloween last year. I did up. Yeah, I grew my chops out and everything. I got like Buddy to make a cardboard cutout of his bass over mine.
Knock your tooth out too?
No, I didn't go that far. Learned Ace of Spades though and butchered it, but.
As long as you can't reach your mic, it'll work.
Yeah. Oh, I hung the mic from the
ceiling. You had to, like
so
he's 6'5".
Yeah,
right?
just so I could get that look.
You got the boom and a half. Well, when you write, tell me as a writer and someone who's a composer, you know, what are the elements, like any good cook would say, in a song? Like, what's a song got to have?
I can say for myself, I love writing with Blacken'd Red because we all collaborate. I've been in so many situations where somebody will bring a song to the table and it's like, this is my song, it's being done this way, and that's it.
Yeah.
well, what's the point?
Pete Townsend, right?
Pete. I thought it was
Pete, yeah, cunt. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to collaborate. Everyone's got to have a little piece of the puzzle
Yeah.
to make it that much of theirs, and then together make it ours.
Yeah.
And sometimes we disagree flat out, and the beauty of it too is that we can all take constructive criticism really well. If it ain't good for the song, it simply gets bypassed, and we do something different.
Yeah,
and that's the beauty of
absolutely.
it. You
Yeah.
got to work together all the time.
Yeah.
Whether there's hurt feelings or not, and we all collaborate really, really well. We all have the same focus on the particular piece of music that we're working on, and we want to just make it great. So no one's holding back, and everyone's putting all in at the same time. And
I just try to make it really loud and fast and crunchy and.
Well, I'm a deaf old blind bastard, so it's
it's
gotta
totally
be fucking loud.
Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. I've never been with a singer who's ever said that.
Really?
It's always the opposite. Right?
Opposite, turn
So
down.
the problem is, and we had this problem with the Corktown. Nice guy, I'm sure he is. I said, look, man, this sound guy, tons of guitar in the monitors, all of them. And oddly enough, not a ton of vocals. He just doesn't like it that way. So here's the guitar player
Yeah,
telling
they
that.
thought-
And I said to all of them,
they
they go,
thought it was
fuck
crazy.
you. So
Yeah,
they put tons of
you-
vocals, I get no guitar. And I'm going, like, simple stuff. And then his light goes off. Ding! And I can't see him anymore. So I mean, it's just, I don't get it. I was telling the truth, brother. That's the way
That's
it
a
is.
good one, eh? The
Yeah.
light.
Well, you can't see him, and you don't know if he's there.
I
right?
know.
Or the other guys that mix on their laptops, and they walk, where is he? It's just like he's over the other part of the room. He's on his iPad. I'm mixing, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, Ryan was mentioning about that, and I never thought that other aspect of it. People do like to know where the engineering room is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like be able to go to it.
I got a sound gig this
Then we played
weekend.
the
That's how
Horseshoe.
I'm
The guy was
mixing.
awesome.
Yeah, Ryan's going to
Very
mix on
professional.
his
Cool,
computer. So again, the sound, again, when you entrust your sound to someone you don't necessarily know, it can be a dangerous thing. So
Oh,
you learn to
fuck
do
yeah.
things yourself. So you guys
And you
must have
never
had.
know.
The first
You
couple
never know.
songs are basically your soundtrack until
Yeah.
you can yell and scream. Or
If you're happy
or
on
Buddy gets
stage,
it.
that's rare and it's awesome. But you have no idea what it's like up front until, and I did this at the Horseshoe because I got a wireless, and I ran out to Ruthie and did the guitar solo in Dead Flowers for her right there. I went, holy shit, I can hear myself because I'm out in the room. It was like there, and I thought that's cool, but otherwise you never know. Your friends go, yeah, you were great. That doesn't tell me a lot.
That's where you got to buck up and be a pro, and we know our shit inside and out, and whether you can hear it all or not, just get
do
that
it.
foot
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, you don't take your foot off.
Stay
right?
on cue
Never
and
stop.
never stop.
Just do it all.
Yeah. So that's a cardinal rule, probably number one. If you had another one that you took to your grave, what you've learned from your chunk in the music business, what's is there one, or is it just a cornucopia of the great education?
There's tons and tons. There's just like everything, except for the fact that really nothing's changed. I mean, I started playing in bars in probably 75, and really nothing much has changed, except the bands don't get
75.
paid
Fuck
as
me,
much.
I was 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. They don't get paid as much. They got paid really well then.
Who would have thought? Yeah.
And now it's deteriorated to that length. I mean, the systems, for the most part, should be better. I mean, the studio is an exception. When you get to that level, there's flawless sound, flawless monitors, somebody to run it. It's outstanding. You go to bars, and that's any bar in the city. You're not picking on any one of them, or any bar in Toronto, or any bar played everywhere. It's pretty much all the same. They got a 15 and a horn and a stick, and they got a couple of subs, and they might have a couple of powered wedges, and that's it. And a guy who's getting paid $75 a night to run it. So he's only going to take so much crap, and that's what you're faced with. So short of bringing your own people and your own stuff, you're at their mercy always, and that hasn't changed.
That and there's like the old cliches, like the show must go on, and it always does. If we got a gig booked and we know people are coming to pay money to come see us, I mean, we've done a show where I had pneumonia, still did the show. Did a show where I had 2 cracked ribs.
Dave was deathly ill at the Halloween
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
He was deathly ill.
I think the mark of a professional isn't how good you can come across or make the band come across or even sing and make it come across when everyone's in perfect pitch and perfect tone. How do you do it when you're fucking sick as a dog and
on
still
your
get
worst
your
day.
point across?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do you do it on your worst night and still, appease the crowd and make everybody happy and go home at that end of the night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I know it's a cliche, but
most
show
of the time
must
you just
go on.
get up for it. You just get up and you do it.
Rise to the occasion.
Rise
It's
to
the
the
most fun you can
occasion.
still have, right? I mean, there's nothing more fun than this.
No, there isn't,
Play on
because
stage,
you
good
know
Lord.
when you actually make a difference, when people like grab you, and sometimes you have to go take a piss or something, but you have people going up going, "Fucking thank you,
Exactly.
thank you
And
for
that's
making my night."
fantastic,
You
yeah.
know,
To that you say, thank you.
Well, and the beauty with us playing our all original music is if you can touch one person to capture an emotion or a feeling, a moment in time, you've already won. Whether you're playing in front of fucking 10,000 people or 10 people, you've won right there.
Yeah.
Like if we weren't writing original music, I still would not be back in this game. That's for damn sure.
yeah, when you can invest in it. And
Remember
have
when you
it
were
be
touching
yours.
those people? That was
Touching
good
those?
times, eh?
I thought I was touching myself.
That's not what
sorry.
they said.
There's a lot of touching going on.
Quit touching me,
I'm
bastard.
starting to get worried. It's scaring me just a little bit. Well, I still want to hear nothing wrong, nothing right. Because
Sure.
clearly you don't want to hear this song. They're like, why do you hate this song?
I don't hate this song. I wrote the song. I fucking love those guys.
Those guys are great. But as soon as I popped, you got to hit people like right between the eyes, and you get on their throat. You don't get off. Leave with a smile on their face. And this is something you must have been very conscious. Especially Brian being someone who's looking at it, saying, okay, I want to construct this. And
Yeah, a lot of standing alone in my living room, alone, which I can't do anymore. There's too many people in the house, and playing. And just getting into it. You just get into a zone. I mean, all the bullshit about it comes through you. It's not really you. It's not true. If it does, it gets filtered by what you know. Yeah. And I'm not creating something that I've never played before. I'm creating variations on what I've always done. And I think that's the way it goes. But you really do have to be pretty clear to let that happen.
Yeah.
And they start to grab one and you play it and play it and play it. And then I walk away from it. And if I go back to it and it's still there, then it's something. Because otherwise, I don't even know how that riff goes anymore. Then that's okay.
Yeah.
It's gone. But the ones that stay. So like I said, we got like 5 right now, including one that we play that we haven't recorded yet. So we're ready for like the next CD, next recording session for sure is coming up.
Back to Grand Avenue.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about Grand Avenue and
Absolutely.
the stories that go with probably Hamilton's most storied recording studio, and the people who've been working that studio all have a great pedigree and have earned their stripes. And you worked with a couple of the great ones on this CD, didn't you?
Bob Deutsch is awesome. Amy King is awesome. Amy's the new generation of awesomeness at Grant.
She played some piano on her CD,
Bob played a little bit of
was
organ.
great.
That's tremendous. Bob brings that. I've got really old stories about Grant because I was in there in like 1980, 79, 80, 81, 82 with Dan, with another band, Common Language, that we recorded. We'd go in at night and use Tom Wilson's desk settings that he was paying for in the daytime and record for free all night and do all our stuff there. And we did it with Dan, we did it with Roman, we did it with Dave Bottrell, and everybody that's gone on to be fucking brilliant geniuses. People.
That was right before Dan
It's
Lamont
unbelievable.
did the U2 stuff.
It was leading up to it. And Dan actually took Common Language, my band, and rented because he was stressed and he said he didn't want to record in the studio anymore. He wanted to get out and do someplace else. So we rented what's now the courthouse on McNabb and Main Street.
Yes.
It was the old library. Mm-hmm. Between the library and the courthouse, it was empty and desolate. So he rented it from the city for 3 days. And we humped in a 2-inch 24-track, me and the guitar player and Bob and Dan up those stairs and in there, a little board, hung mics all over the place. February, it was freezing, so he brought in a giant construction heater propane thing and it lost all the hair on my hands trying to keep warm. And he had a drummer in a little tiny room that went up, and the bass was out here, and the guitar was in this room all by itself with a basement, and it was just awesome. And he recorded us for 3 days live off the floor, did all this stuff in these cool different rooms. They'd be hauling it around, I'd be playing, and Roman would have to hump it down the stairs, and he'd say, "We'll call that the stair room." And he'd hump it back up again, and then we'd take it to another room and said, "We'll call this the vault room."
I think he was twisting the paper.
Oh man, did all this shit, and Deb did scratch vocals in the main hallway sort of thing, where the board was and the machine was. And we got all these beds down, and we went back to Grand Avenue and did the overdubs and mixed it and everything else and finished it. And Dan's like laying on the floor with this big bottle of Bufferin. I said, like, "What's up?" He says, "Well, Brian Eno's asked me to produce this band in Ireland." And I said, "Really?" I'm thinking, it's not the Irish Rovers, I bet. How many bands do I know from Ireland? I said, who is it, Dan? He said, you too. I go, really?
No
That's pretty
fucking way.
fucking cool. You know, that'll be great. And that's what did it. And he took essentially what he did with us and did it in the castle and recorded you two lie off the floor in odd rooms and odd spaces. And you need to get a sense of what that was like to actually record that.
Sounds and tones by using you guys.
So wonderful little connection there. If that was on Antiques Roadshow, that would have, I think they call that, what do they call
Provenance.
that? Provenance,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
I was thinking pedigree, but it was
well, it's
Provenance.
become a pedigree, I suppose. I've told it a
Swords.
few times.
Yeah.
But that was it. I mean, that was the time. I mean, was at the studio all the time. My guitar player did a session with him overnight, just getting ideas. But Dan was just the guy who was like, he was like an Abbey Road EMI engineer. He could be wearing a white lab coat because his fundamentals were so strong. He knew everything, but he was rigid and strong. I mean, he did Raffi and Canadian stuff. He'd say, you'll never get rich recording Canadian bands because you get 40 grand at pop and they don't give you any points. So, Dan, you've done like 4 of them this year. So maybe you can. But he had such strong fundamentals that came in and said, I need that, and then I'm going to expand you like this. I'm going to do this to you. And he started running effects through channels. And I said they didn't have a lot at Grant at the time, but Brian gave him a sense of opening up the ideas and the potential for what you're doing. And we saw it happening because it was a time that it was happening. I mean, we were listening to Talking Heads in Japan and XTC and thinking, holy shit, like things are happening here. Things are new. And that was totally a new wave band. I mean, so we were listening to the new music and playing the new music in Toronto. And it was just a really exciting time to see it happening before our eyes. Because when he went there, he came back via New York and everything else. And all of a sudden he had really awesome boots and really cool shirt, nice jacket, and all this stuff because he wasn't like that before.
Yeah, there's that,
at all.
But that's what Tim Gibbons said. He said, "Yeah, you can tell he was doing well because man, he didn't dress like the same as he used to."
Well, you had to. You're swinging with different people, so you've got to do that shit. But it was a tremendous time. It was just really, really good.
Yeah, and always been a great pedigree. Like the people overusing that term. Like, but in Hamilton, the musical vein runs thick. There's always been a fairly supportive, tough community, but it's good. It's like
Steeltown, it's a roughneck town.
Yeah.
You gotta earn your stripes in this town.
Yeah. No one's gonna butter your bun for free around here. That's for sure.
If you suck, you will get thrown out the fucking door. Plain and simple.
They might have you back just to laugh at you. Just have some fun.
But it's more open now than it's ever been.
Yeah.
More places to play, more places to eat. I mean, we're seeing a resurgence happening now. It's huge that we've been waiting for forever.
Yeah.
And the sign is always people from out of town doing it.
Yeah. I absolutely love our city. I've been all over Canada numerous times. I always come back to Hamilton.
Yeah.
Always.
Well, we call it our hometown, and proud to represent the artists, who call Hamilton home at the Barber Shop podcast. We're going to play one more off the CD. When we come back, we're going to chat a bit, and I'm going to talk the boys into doing one live in the studio. So you get to see these guys are not trailer queens. They hit the road.
So neat.
Put the car in the trunk.
Uh-oh.
All right. A little, the lead-off track, Nothing Wrong, Nothing Right, from Drive, little Blacken'd Red, which is kicking ass at a town near you. So
Kicking ass and taking names.
Kicking ass and taking names. BarbershopPodcast.com. Here it is.
Smile, now the pills in the bottle. The day still breaks into night, though you see it through your blood red eyes. You just can't seem to keep it together when nothing's wrong and nothing right.
All right. Oh, yeah. I'm more kicking ass. We don't need no stinking Maple Leaf hockey game tonight.
Something on your voice now.
Justin TV. Justin TV. Tell us a little bit about Justin TV, because we've got some viewers. We got
Three.
Jack and Val Savoy, who both have stuck in a couple words to say hi, that they're watching live streaming right now. How can people who are watching this down the road, easily remember where we're at?
JustinTV.com. Or no, sorry, it's fucking weird. Justin.tv/barbershop podcast.
There you go. Well,
yeah.
And if you're into watching it live, because
that's live. Every Wednesday at 8 we go live. Yeah. And then you can always get Barbershop Podcast on YouTube as well as iTunes.
Yeah. There you go. Like, we're in a multimedia world right now. Someone, in Australia or Timbuktu right now could be happening upon it.
There's no such thing as Timbuktu.
There is.
There's not.
There is too.
Maybe that chick is working on right now in Las Vegas, Nevada, listening.
Yeah, and this is interesting that this is how it works.
Say to her?
You don't have to go down, stand there with your 45 in front of for your mixtape in front of the radio station anymore. And you were there for that transition, right?
Oh, yeah.
You remember the early days. Tell me about you trying to get airplay, as a young guy.
The first royalty check, you could call it, I got was from selling 9 cassette tapes at Cheapy's Records. I got a check for $45.
Wow.
Nice. It's all yours, huh? You still have it?
I just got a message from Jack Rogers says, hey man, I recorded that album with a broken thumb, you fuckers. You guys are great. Tell Kevin I say hi.
Hey, man.
Hi, Kevin.
Hey. Thanks, Jack. So tell me about going in.
Then he just said, "Love your hair, man."
And we waited a few extra minutes, and you have to admit, it's like when he came in, we couldn't be mad at him because he looked so fucking good, right? The guy busted his ass all day. He took the time to come in because he knows, gotta look the part, especially if you're that beautiful, and I have to say, your jeans, not just the one you wear, kind of hold together pretty good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the two of you look fucking fantastic.
The pants he was wearing the other night were fucking awesome because he didn't have any. He forgot all his clothes in the garage, so he had to borrow some guy's lace-up-side leather pants. Those old dealers,
assless chaps,
just about.
Well, they were assless by the end of the night. Actually,
Cash them out and buy them.
Yeah, no. Friends of mine came in from out of town from Ajax, and we were in a kind of a mad scramble to get to a barbecue pre-drinking thingy before the gig at the Corktown, and so we grabbed all my shit out of the garage. I got the merch, I got the banner, I got all of our shit, and then we get to my buddy Dan's place in Dundas, and realized, fuck, I left all my stage clothes in the garage. So Dan,
that's great. Just before the gig, wasn't it? Eh?
Right before the gig.
Oh, man. I love that story.
And of course I was already late to get there, so I couldn't go back home. So Dan Chartrand, he dug out some dusty old sweaty fucking leathers that he wore on stage when he was in Infectious back in '97.
Yes!
I'm like, fuck yeah, they fed me good. We're going good to the gig.
That's awesome. What a great story, because it's fucking true. You know, you write that stuff and people say it's a bit over the top. And it fit, though. It's kind of like the Cinderella's slipper.
Well, he says to me, he goes, you know that back in '97, I never wore underwear in these things. I go, fuck, that's okay. I'm not wearing any now. He goes, you know what, buddy? You can keep them.
They'll be in the Hard Rock Cafe one day.
Standing up
on all their own. Yeah. The Pluto location.
Well, by the end of the night, actually, after we left Corktown, we went down to This St. Hollywood to say hello to our friends in Teenage Head, and my buddy Sean was celebrating his
we want to say hi to Sean. Sean, friend of the show.
Happy birthday, you old
you
bastard.
buddy.
And I ripped the ass out of these fucking things, so I had to stuck the t-shirt in the back of my belt and have it drooping down because my bits and my bites were hanging out.
Most excellent. So to talk about your stage show, when you put a stage show on now, how much of it is like is hands-on? When you're, you know, how crazy can you get? Like, I'm sure the bigger the better, right? And how do you find putting that together and meeting resistance, or people open to it at the places that you work, or do you have to use underhanded techniques to get away with some of the?
No, we're just.
There's no rules in rock and roll, right?
There's not. We haven't looked for them because then we'd break them, but we haven't found any.
Yeah.
We try to keep a very conscious effort of where everybody is, because nobody wants a headstock in the face or a mic stand in the head.
Yeah.
You know, which has been known to happen.
Yeah, because you don't stand around.
No,
you
we're
know?
better on bigger stages, you know.
Yeah.
And Corktown was dragged because everything was pushed so far down stage. There was no way for me getting across to Dave. He had trouble with his wireless that night, so he was plugged in. And that sucks. When you're not free to move around, that just totally inhibits you everything you do. So I know he was pissed off. That's why I said I ran into the house to see Ruthie, and Ruthie's our oldest fan. She's 88. It was her birthday.
Ruth Mitchell, and love her to death.
And
She's awesome. She brought me cookies.
Us. I mean,
she brings me
comes to
cookies
see
every
us.
time.
And
she
Ruth
comes
has
to
got
see
great
us.
taste.
She's fucking
Absolutely, she's incredible. So I did the solo with it. You got to be able to do that. You got to be able to move a little bit. But that stage is tiny to begin with, and it was made a lot smaller. So
remember the show we did at
no stage is too big. What?
Remember the show we did at Waltz?
Yeah,
we did a show at Waltz, and we had to put down tape for Dave Green.
Reflective tape.
It's your half.
Well, this is his half. This is my half. And the tape said, "My side, suicide." If he comes in my range, he was getting the mic stand right upside the head. So he had a my side suicide tape.
My side suicide.
Yeah,
which I'm surprised isn't a song right at this point.
It will be.
It will be. Yeah.
We didn't hear it.
We didn't hear it. No, it's all yours. So. Can you feel up to playing a song? I love it when guys come in and can show the chops that they have of being able to do that thing. Because there's when you talk about it, CDs are great and the production is fantastic and it's a mystical journey on its own. But live performance, there's
live
nothing
off the floor,
there's
brother.
nothing like the feeling of live music.
It's true. That's what we got in it for. Can we do this?
Yeah, let's do something. What do you want to do?
Okay. Close to the edge? Yes? Or no? Oh, you want to do one of ours?
One step from the group.
I thought you just... Okay. Here we
I'm trying to remember the words.
Why should tonight be any different?
We ain't trying too hard to be lonely, but it still seems to be working out just the same. Well, I remember a time I was always drunk and happy in the company of good friends. Hey, times sometimes fade away. Memories are here to stay for just one day. Well, I remember a time you were so young, on top of your game, but only for just one day. Well, the times they change. Then you move on to a different town, at a bar with a different name. Whoa. Times fade away. Misery is here to stay. But just one day. Just one day. Yeah.
Très bien. I like that very much.
That was the short unplugged version.
That's it.
So you've, as you know, you go on in your career and you sing. Have you found that what you used to do and how you used to do it as a younger singer? As I hear this quite often, that younger singers rely on certain techniques and muscles that are unsustainable or in fact damaging to your vocal cords, and there's a whole relearning process to sing. Or were you always like a student of the voice? Is it natural to you?
I haven't changed a thing.
Yeah.
I like it raw. I like it rough. You know, some days it's dead on. Some days
singing.
Oh yeah, do your vocal warm ups, kids.
Who's
Not
that
the
old
sodomy.
vocal coach you had, the old opera singer or something years ago?
Oh, her name was Diana something, Russian lady in Toronto. She was amazing. I learned more from singing from her just by talking to her. You know, even before singing out a note, and it's a lot of being a state of mind more than anything. Right. You know, you got to commit yourself. You got to let it go, belt it out, and truly believe in what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know.
Otherwise, you know, why would you put yourself through all that? You know, it's a lot of fun, but you know,
sing. If you can talk, you can sing. Singing is basically talking with harmony and melody.
Yeah,
it's an extension of talking, and we can all talk, so we can all sing to a certain degree.
Yeah, I've heard that that's the biggest mistake. People just have a shower voice or a radio voice that they sing along with the radio in the car, and they think that that's right. Yeah. And they've never sang in their own voice. They've never tried. They've never had to explain to them like that is your voice.
Very strange. My wife has a great voice, but she doesn't think she does. But I've heard her do little things. Oh, you know what? And it sounds different than, which means you could possibly be a singer. She won't. Hey, hon. Anyway.
Yep.
I like the awkward pause. I'm hanging on.
Awkward pause. That was your last dog, wasn't it?
Keeping it going.
I'm keeping it going. I was looking at Ryan. I go, I hope he doesn't say anything. You know, I like it like that. Oh, so you mentioned that you have a new a management deal, and you're looking forward to some interesting things. What are some of the things that you've done? Leading up to this point, from the standpoint of any videos, or I know you work with Val Savoy. He's one hell of a good photographer. She takes some really nice photographs.
Love Val to death.
Well, we like her and everything, but she's okay.
She's okay.
If it wasn't for Val, Savoy, this band would not be in the position we are in now.
Yeah.
And that's 100% true.
And the people who invest in you and the people who are fierce, you've got the fan base is fierce, and they bring so many people on side because the people see their passion, and even if they've never heard of you, they know this person. And if this person speaks, so fervently about someone or something, there's a good chance that they'll check it out. And I think that's how it grows an audience exponentially to get to that point, because there's some lean years when you're selling, little dribs and drabs here and there, and to look outside of that bubble, where it's like I'm thinking geographically, and now realistically you can see a much bigger.
Yeah.
Well, we played at that
an old band, right?
Yeah.
And we're doing stuff that's not in the mainstream at all, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what we did years ago was this. It was this big. Now it's a niche. Rock and roll, classic rock, or anything remotely like that. It's just a small part of all the music that's going on. That makes it a million times more difficult too. Yeah. So you don't automatically have access to a huge audience. It's just not there, right?
But what I thought was cool is last summer we played at the Barrie New Music Festival, and Blacken'd Red was actually nominated for an Ontario Music Award there. Yeah. Again, we didn't win, bastards.
But it's nice to be thought of in the same mention as
Yes.
a notion of a memory of something. Do you remember the time?
Well, you know, no. What I got from that, like we were staying at the Holiday Inn there in Barrie, and after we finished our set, went back and just to chill out and hang out, and there was a whole gang of kids, 10 to 15 to 16 years old, and they all came over and they wanted the autograph, and they said they had a great time and loved seeing the band live. I thought that was super fucking cool because whenever the new school wants to come meet the old school, that is fucking cool.
That's exactly what I was going to
passing on the torch.
Exactly, I was going to say. Not even looking at it, admit it as some sort of retro show. It's in fact that is the generational swing where that it happened to us. It happens to every generation.
Yep.
I was driving Sanford and Barton, and I'm waiting for a light last year. I think it was, kind of bored, and I look, and there was me and my friend. We were 15 years old walking across the street. The two boys had shaggy hair. One had a Kiss T-shirt. One had an AC/DC T-shirt. Pimply face, Levi's, and fucking and running shoes. Right, and I'm like, it's been 30 years since I was not offended by the way a kid looked because he fucking looked just like I did. And I thought, you know what, all the stuff I like is now going to start.
It'll all of a sudden make sense. Eh?
Yeah, and that's if it's quality. It's gonna find another audience. It's got to, right?
It's all still out there. They haven't stopped playing everything, and that's the difference now, right? I mean, before it used to just it was over, but now they seem to just drag everything forward, right? So I mean, there's never been a day when you can't hear the Doors on the radio. You'll never find a day that you can't, right? It's always there. So they drag everything up, and the kids therefore have access to it easily. And classic rock is hammered into them so many different ways. But what I think is interesting about that is that it's coming out of them in a slightly altered fashion because it's their interpretation of it, right?
Yep.
My guys, I have two sons that are in a band, Third Tribe, and with their cousin, and they've grown up listening to all my stuff.
And they sound fantastic.
They're great.
Yeah, no doubt.
Tremendous. But I mean, it's filtered through all of these things, right? Mine wasn't. Like ultimately, as we discovered, I mean, we didn't mention Led Zeppelin, which I really should when you say who is the real.
Yeah.
It's Zeppelin for me. And that was just like one stage away from Muddy Waters. I mean, that's one step away from the blues, right? Yeah. So it was easy to get to the roots of that thing. But now, I mean, there's so many layers of all of these things, between it that they have access to absolutely everything. And it's no longer, they don't even see things as going sequentially or chronologically anymore. It's just all there, so they can play things.
Well, now with the internet too. I mean, fuck, when we were kids, we had to go down to the record store and dig shit out and try to find it.
Well, they were all down the record store on record store
up whatever you want and find it. Right?
And they all bought vinyl. The vinyl in my house is disgusting. I mean, this is all they're buying now. And I look through it, somebody's got a Bob Dylan album, so he's got this and then the blues stuff. It's just incredible. The access is phenomenal.
And it is nice having, like, when you think about YouTube, it's wonderful that there's this musical library now that was unparalleled before. And a kid, like I'll see stuff, from the Newport Jazz Festival was, some band ripping it up. And it's like, what are the chances of me stumbling across that if it wasn't for that?
Impossible.
And if you have a kid, it's like, you like that? Check this out. It's like our parents didn't have that when they would say, you like that? You would love that, because he couldn't pull it out.
No, unless they had 100 albums there, there's no way. Where's it going to come from? No, the access is just
now you can Google that shit.
Yeah, Google that shit.
Everything.
And technology.
Sorry, I get my 15-year-old to Google it for me. Yes. So I'm still computer illiterate.
Well, this is what they're going to take us to the promised land. You're like, don't alienate the young people in your life because they're going to figure out your technology tomorrow.
Yep.
So I want to play another tune off the CD. Do you have one that you both agree on is deserves?
Oh, that one. Remember that one? It's
one.
It's on that one. The one.
the thing. The one.
That one.
That's
the one.
The other one.
That's not on there.
The Wanted Man one.
Play that one.
Wanted
the
Man.
Other one.
Why don't we do Wanted Man?
About that. Look, he's setting it on fire.
All right. Yeah, no,
awesome.
because
Nice.
it looks.
I didn't know you could do
cooler.
that.
Well, they did it to the Beatles, didn't they?
Yeah.
They set them on fire too.
I think that was Jimmy somebody rather. I'm not sure.
No, he did the guitar thing. Fuck, see, we're getting old and senile too.
Yeah, but that's the best time because you used to have to pay to get half drunk, and now it comes natural, right? You just have to finish off. All right, we're gonna play some Wanted Man. This is latest from Blacken'd Red, band you gotta see, band you gotta hear. Check out their links on our website, which is barbershoppodcast.com. And for Blacken'd Red, this is Wanted Man.
Val Savoy gave us the hit too. Wanted Man.
halfway, all the way. I love it. Pedal to the metal rock and roll from Blacken'd Red at barbershoppodcast.com. Now, guys, a little bit selfishly, it's nice having two guys in the studio. Works well with the camera, works well with the space. But the band, anyone who's seen the band knows that this is a 4-piece. Fucking 8-cylinder, 350 cubic engine.
It's a democracy.
Yeah,
it's a Hemi, isn't it? I think it's a Hemi.
It's a big block, dude.
Yeah,
Big block,
454.
nice.
It's
Positive
cranking.
traction. Yeah, dude, it's awesome. Smoking.
So tell me about the band. Tell me about all the the cogs and how they work together.
The other cogs that aren't here tonight because they're out being fucking cogs.
Coggy
is Jack Rogers on drums. Boom. And what's the other guy's name? Shit.
Angry Dave fucking Green.
Dave Green.
Yeah.
Tough name to remember. That's probably why I block it all the time. Dave Green on bass. Yes. You guys aren't here and you're missing out on all the fun.
And all the fun and the cold beer.
Yeah.
All that, yeah.
And the shiatsu massage upstairs.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah,
I feel
we always
great
make sure
now.
you get a shiatsu before you come to the show.
I'm surprised Dave's not here because he's kind of like me. We're never fucking shy when it comes to booze or food.
Yeah, there, name me, call me.
It's true, but he's so reserved,
Yeah.
He doesn't really talk a lot. He doesn't say too much, so it might be a burden here. I'm not sure. Maybe he's here and we don't know.
He's gonna poke you in the eye tomorrow, I think.
As far as bass players go, though, I mean, you must love them.
He's one of them.
He's one of them.
He is absolutely.
Yeah, Dave is absolutely fantastic at what he does, man. He plays that instrument. He doesn't want to be a guitar player that's settled to be a bass player. He is a bass player, true and true, and he is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
No, I know.
And he is
true
a
story. I've met so many people over the
motherfucker.
years that they're playing bass guitar because they can't play.
Yeah,
guitar.
frustrated guitar player.
No,
and
Dave is a bass player through and through, and he lives that instrument, plays that instrument.
Yeah.
And interjects so much with the writing style and influence with this band.
He does a funny dance on stage too, which I think is almost becoming like a highlight.
It's called the Angry Dave Stomp. Yeah, it's fucking awesome, and he does it through Wanted Man, as a matter.
That's right. This tune you just heard.
So you have to see it just for the stomp. If you're gonna,
nothing else,
you have to go to your ticket office.
And Jack, of course, Jack looks like another famous drummer. We get it all the time. That Ringo is like. Could be his brother's twin. It's fucking phenomenal.
I thought it was Dave Grohl. Was it Ringo or Dave Grohl?
Grohl. It's certainly not Ringo.
Jack is all fucking meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
He just bangs out the
Loves
beat.
what he does.
Yeah.
Loves what he does.
He ain't flashy, he ain't tricky, man, but he is solid all the time, every time.
You don't see him grimacing back there either.
Oh, fuck, he's having
enjoy
blast.
himself.
Having a good time.
Absolutely. We all enjoy ourselves. And that's the other thing. Like he says you can't smile in rock and roll, but I think you can because we get away with it when he's not looking.
Just for promo pictures, you gotta do that.
Okay, promo pictures.
A little
but on
scowl.
stage.
Yeah.
And you know where it comes from. And you can have your own influences, so I don't give a shit. But early Van Halen, you never saw a band have more fun on stage than early Van Halen, right?
Yeah.
Say the first 5 years.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, that's a whole rock and roll thing for me, and I think that's what we got a little tiny piece of. That's it.
And with a huge sound.
Yeah.
Big sound and have fun with it.
Yeah,
right?
and touching on that, I have to because it's a recurring theme here, and through quite a number of genres, and it could be an age thing, I don't know, but how many people have been heavily influenced by Kiss? What did Kiss mean to you?
Jack Rogers and Dave
Rogers
Green are
and Dave.
huge Kiss fans.
Yeah.
Dave can do entire Paul Stanley monologues from live things and dead on, and I don't know. Oh yeah, apparently they're dead on. He's nasty that way.
Yeah.
Nasty Dave Green and Jack. Yeah, between the two of them, they'll start playing shit, and I don't know what they're doing, and I start going.
Me and Brian are looking at each
It's like
other.
Monty Python
that
skit.
sounds like
Yeah.
You're doing. Oh yeah, that is a song. I say. I didn't know you could write a song after a girl named Beth.
It's cool because you can have different influences like that. Because I know myself growing up, I was never the biggest Kiss fan.
Right.
When all my friends, when I was a kid, were listening to Kiss, I was listening to Cheap Trick and the Budokan. I fucking love Cheap Trick.
Yeah,
so I wasn't a part of the Kiss army.
Yeah.
but it's cool. So we can joke with each other and have fun with each other, but
Absolutely.
still totally appreciate all of our influences and where they come from.
I got dragged to a Kiss concert at Varsity Stadium with Blue Oyster Cult and somebody else. So they forced me. They were there to see Kiss. I thought, well, Blue Oyster Cult will be okay. I think Dave and Jack were both there.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were too.
Yeah, no doubt. And then
they were there for Kiss.
And then years later, we played with Blue Coupe and with
Dennis Dunaway and
Dennis Dunaway. Like when you got rock and roll royalty in the house, like someone like Dennis Dunaway,
I think they
wrote
really
all the
appreciated
early
it.
Alice Cooper stuff, and I was a
Yeah.
huge Cooper fan too.
Yeah.
It's just fucking awesome when someone like that comes up to you and said, "Dude, you had a great fucking set. You guys are awesome." I'm like, Jesus Christ, you know,
Yeah.
he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
You know, and the Bouchard brothers are there from Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah.
You know, just and fantastic, down to earth people. Love to hang out with them.
Yeah. And
Still Facebook
they're all
friends
cool.
with Dennis Dunley
And
too.
you probably find that as you spend time in music, that the relationships you make are like, they are some really excellent people.
Yes.
You know, who are in there who stick it out. You know, that does something to their soul. You know, there's someone to be able to take that much abuse but still remain kind of pure at heart. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you separate the wheat from the chaff pretty quickly.
Absolutely.
In this business, you know what you're dealing with. All
They're
right,
all nice.
I'm going to talk you guys into.
Oh, there's Jack Rogers. He was just talking about
Is he
that
weepy?
Kiss concert that Brian was talking
Yeah.
about.
Were you there, Jack?
He said,
You were there.
I was there, and I was only 15. That was a long fucking time ago.
Yeah, which is why they still tour in makeup, I guess. Yeah.
Absolutely.
well, Jack, if Cheap Trick was opening up, I would have been there too.
Yeah, no, I remember when I was in the Cheap Trick, I had broken my Kiss records at that point because I went through the shaming, you know, of like,
There was a shaming?
yeah, because I was a kid, and then you couldn't be caught dead with them because I was, now you're into Bowie and the Cars and Cheap Trick. And
I just remember
Knack
seeing the
and
very
stuff
first
like that.
picture of Kiss in Cream magazine, and they only had costumes part of the way. They had the makeup,
Yeah.
but they were in black jeans, like a boot sort of thing. And in between them was Rodney Bingenheimer, the mayor of the Sunset Strip, that guy, in like some sort of fake Kiss makeup in the middle. And I just thought, what the fuck is this? This is just bullshit. Like, put this away. But it was one of those little tiny black and white pictures. And then like 6 months later, they have the back cover every single month. You couldn't get away from it. Casablanca was like insane for them. They poured so much money into them. I'm ranting, aren't I, Jack? Dave? But that's what it was. So it was like totally other. I had no interest whatsoever.
You see the riffs that you're able to mine, Ryan, with a little question like Kiss, you know, there's a 50-50 split in the band.
Absolutely.
I love
But that's groovy. They can like that shit. I don't really care.
Here's Jack Rogers again. He said I saw Cheap Trick when they opened for Kiss, and they blew Kiss away. Been a fan ever since.
Right on.
Jack Rogers is a big fucking man for saying that because he's the biggest Kiss
There
fan
you
I
go.
know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He just accepts reality. I
Thanks,
guess.
Jack. Love you, brother.
Yeah. Well, you guys got another live song in you before we wrap up the evening. I really enjoyed the first, and I imagine our viewers and
Live but not lively.
There we go.
listeners would love to hear some live but not lively.
Not one of ours, by the way.
Nope.
So we'll give credit. where credit's due.
Brian has agreed to conform, and we're going to do one of my favorite songs.
That is sweet.
When you're sitting there in your silk upholstered chair, talking to some rich folk that you know. Well, I hope you won't find me in my right company. You know I could never be alone. Take me down, little Susie, take me down. Well, I know you think you're the queen of the underground, but you can send me dead flowers every morning. Send me dead flowers by the mail. Say it with dead flowers at my wedding, oh yeah. Well, I won't forget to put roses on your grave. When you're sitting back in your rose pink Cadillac, making bets on Kentucky Derby Day. Well, I'll be in my basement room with a needle and a spoon and another girl to take my pain away. Take me down, little Susie, take me down. Well, I know you think you're the queen of the underground, but you can send me dead flowers every morning. your grave. Well, I won't forget to put roses on your grave. Well, I won't forget to put roses on your grave.
Yeah.
I want to dedicate that song to a good dear friend of mine that is she's since been gone for 5 years now. My friend Jen Ann said that was her favorite song and one of the reasons why we still do it.
Yeah.
So, God love you.
Well, music has an incredible power. You know,
Fuck yeah.
it carries people through, and it's, you know, kind of like a smell or a vision that sticks in the mind, and it's very strong.
Ooh, that smell.
Yeah. Well,
I can smell that smell.
it's a smell of victory.
Yes.
Victory of another fantastic show. Ryan, I think we should put our hands together and maybe pat ourselves on our swag covered backs. Thanks again to Blacken'd Red for giving us these wonderful free t-shirts.
Awesome.
Free swag.
Free swag.
I fucking love those guys.
Yeah, I love those guys. So, you know, you're going to pay for yours when you come see them. But, you know, you heard some awesome kick-ass rock and roll. Do yourself a favor. Go see them. Tell your friends about the show. Pass it on. Share the love. And thanks for coming out. Guys, thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you
See
very
you
much.
later.
Thanks, Ryan.
Shudder